The Tournament of Power is on the way, and Piccolo found some new fighters for the team, although one of them he didn't really account for, but he should be a great addition. We'll be covering all that and more in this 8th part of What If Gohan Went Super Saiyan Early. Piccolo tests out the power of the two Demon Realm fighters, first fighting against Glorio. He already knows what to expect from Glorio because he's been training, but Glorio has grown. Physically he wasn't too powerful before. With his magic he was pretty decent, but now he's pretty good with both. Particularly because he's actually using ki instead of just magic here. He's combined both of them together. With Neva's guidance, his magic's grown stronger, and with Piccolo's guidance, his ki has grown stronger. As for an estimate of his power, I would say Glorio is around base Piccolo right now, which is pretty impressive considering how strong Piccolo is in this scenario. But just base Piccolo, that's all. So that makes for a pretty good addition to the team. Next, Piccolo fights Majin Ku. First off, Ku is part Piccolo, so he's faithful to him as well as the rest of the team, which is great. He's going to be a really loyal ally. But even crazier is his strength. Piccolo even goes into his orange form. And he did give part of his DNA for Ku, so it kind of makes sense. But Ku is really powerful. Marba and Arinsu were kind of worried that giving this much power to him would make him unstable, but no, he's perfectly fine. The Piccolo part of that stabilizes him even with its great strength. Ku actually does defeat Piccolo here, which is incredible. And he wonders how Ku's strength compares to Gohan, because that means he's the second strongest person on the team. And if he's stronger than Gohan, he would be the strongest person on the team. To think that they were able to create something that powerful, it's a good thing Arinsu didn't use this for evil here. She got what she wanted, and Universe 7 now has a great fighter along their side. So it all works out in the end. They go back to Universe 7. This is the first time in a while that everyone's seen Glorio, so they're glad to see him again. And as for Ku, this is the first time they've ever even heard of him. They're a little bit hesitant at first, hearing that there's another Majin like Buu, but when Piccolo explains its creation and everything, and they see him talk and act normally, they realize that it's probably going to be okay. And Beerus is pretty happy with this result. Vegeta's a bit bummed though because he expected to recruit Trunks and, more importantly, brag about his power to the others, but now they have their 10 members. Soon enough, the Tournament of Power begins. And right off the bat, Universe 7's in a pretty interesting spot. Universe 7 isn't a huge target, because the tournament didn't start like it did normally where Goku actually initiated it, although they do know that Universe 6 versus Universe 7 gave Zeno the idea for that, so there's probably some level of disdain towards both those universes, but not like it was normally. Plus, they don't realize that Universe 7 is one of the stronger ones here, probably the strongest universe. So things don't start out too crazy. At some point though, Goku eventually comes across Jiren, and he's of course heard about Jiren too. There wasn't an exhibition match or anything, but Whis did mention a mortal in another universe that might be stronger than his own god of destruction. So Goku's of course naturally curious. He tries to fight Jiren, and considering Goku is a bit weaker here than normal, it's even more than a struggle than it was before. This eventually pushes him into using the Spirit Bomb alongside Blue Kaioken. Even though Goku's a bit weaker, the Spirit Bomb would probably be stronger considering who's on the team. A stronger Piccolo, a stronger Gohan, and then Ku. But even with that, Jiren's able to push the Spirit Bomb back and Goku falls into it. Or, he's about to fall into it. At the very last second, an arm stretches out and grabs him. It's Nail. It's a good thing he was nearby because if Goku fell into that Spirit Bomb, it would have been a pretty bad thing. Surely nothing good could have come of that. Goku thanks Nail, and then Piccolo comes over and heals Goku, which surprises him because he didn't even know Piccolo could do that. Despite not being one of the Dragon Clan Namekians, he still did pick up on some new magic thanks to Neva. Goku decides to fight some other people before he faces Jiren again, and as he goes away, Piccolo and Nail then lock eyes with two warriors from Universe 6, Saunel and Pirina, the two Namekians there. And immediately the two of them could see that they all had the same idea. Those two have merged with their entire planet, just like Nail did. Piccolo on the other hand only has Kami as part of him, but these two do seem pretty powerful. They all hold mutual respect for each other, especially with Nail basically doing the same thing they did. Although the fight is very lopsided. Piccolo fights in base for the most part, and like this, the fight's actually pretty even. A standard 2v2. Piccolo's able to match Saunel, and Nail matches Pirina. But they could tell Piccolo's hiding more power, so out of respect for them, he decides to show off his own strength, jumping right into his orange form. They're amazed to see this. Besides going giant, they've never seen a Namekian transform like this. Even Nail's pretty taken aback. He knew about this, but this is the first time he's seeing it in real combat. How can a Namekian get that strong? The entirety of Namek from Universe 7 and Universe 6 is witnessing Piccolo's strength right now, through the eyes of the merged Namekians at least. But Piccolo makes a promise to the others. If Universe 7 wins, he plans on bringing back all the other universes. The two from Universe 6 realize they won't win this fight, but they're glad to know that the wish is in good hands. They expect Universe 7 to win. Piccolo eliminates both of them, and the battle continues. Glorio kinda sticks with Ku most of the time because Ku is part Glorio. The two of them fight pretty well together, so even with Glorio being a lot weaker than Ku is, he's got a great support on his side. Ku has a variety of abilities that allow him to act as a great fighter, and as a great support too. Some of the gods from the other universes find it pretty interesting, particularly the Kais. They could easily tell that Glorio's from the Demon Realm, and as for Ku, they've never seen someone like him before, but he's clearly a Majin from that realm as well. Vegeta of course takes the opportunity to fight Universe 6's Saiyans. And meanwhile, Gohan ends up facing Toppo, a fellow superhero. Using Ultimate, he's able to defeat him, but the rest of the Pride Troopers then attack him. Not out of malice, but because they realize he's a strong warrior and he's a threat in the ring. but he still did become the Great Saiyaman here, and they respect that. And he thinks their poses are really cool. So before they battle, they all hit a pose, and then Gohan basically takes on the entirety of Universe 11 alone. Well, the entirety of the universe besides Jiren. Gohan doesn't really need the help, but Glorio then jumps in, utilizing his magic to electrocute some of the fighters and keep them out of Gohan's way. And Ku even helps too. But with all of Universe 11 eliminated, Jiren has no choice but to stop meditating now. He stands up and walks over towards Gohan, ready to eliminate him quickly. And when Jiren stands up, it's like the rest of the tournament stops. After witnessing his power before, and just feeling it the entire time, they really want to see what's about to happen. Jiren commends Gohan for his efforts, but Belmod basically commanded that Jiren actually do something now. He didn't really care that the rest of his team got eliminated, but fine, he'll get ready to fight. He points a hand at Gohan, charging a ki blast and launching it point blank, attempting to knock Gohan out of the ring, but Gohan just stands there, completely unfazed by it. He is an ultimate and he guards against it, but still, it doesn't really do anything to him. Jiren's a bit surprised. So this warrior is a lot stronger than he thought, and he comes to learn that this guy is the son of the warrior that he just fought, Goku. His father seemed like a great warrior. Surely not as strong as Jiren, but Jiren's interested to see if his son's any stronger. The two begin clashing, and it becomes immediately apparent that Gohan is much stronger. The entire world of Void is shaking from this battle, and Gohan's got a clear upper hand. Jiren's not even really holding back anymore. He hasn't gone into his full power just yet, but he has taken the fight seriously, realizing Gohan is a true threat to him. And realizing this is a losing battle, at some point, he eventually does break out his full power. Once more commending Gohan. He never thought he'd have to use this, especially not here. But it'll be nice to fight in his full power for once, against a warrior that could handle it especially. But even with Jiren's full power, I don't think he'd be able to beat Ultimate Gohan here. This is a Gohan who basically never stopped training, and he's able to contend pretty well with Jiren. Gohan thinks it's a shame though. He has been training for a while, and he has something else he wants to try out, but he knows it would be overkill in this battle. But against someone like Jiren, maybe he can at least handle a little bit of it. Besides, he does want to show respect to a fellow hero. Jiren seems like a pretty cold guy, but at the end of the day, he still is a hero. Misguided, sure, but he still does have similar motives to Gohan. And you know, maybe Gohan humbling him in a fight like this will help him change his ways and become a better hero. He seems so different from the rest of the Pride Troopers. They all valued each other and the teamwork that they had, but Jiren just values complete solitude and strength. So, because of that, alongside him wanting to actually test his power and show Jiren his full strength, Gohan begins transforming. Once more, the world of Void starts shaking. It feels like the entire arena is about to collapse. Just from Gohan powering up, a few weaker fighters are actually eliminated from the ring, and Gohan's teammates are even pretty amazed. Some of them haven't seen this strength. Piccolo has, and Goku and Vegeta partially got to see this against Hit, but not to this level, and definitely not the complete version of this. All the remaining gods watch on equally shocked too, because there's no godly ki in this mortal, but his strength far surpasses any of the people in the ring. Not just that, it surpasses some of the gods here. Beerus is pretty taken aback too. He doesn't know if Gohan's actually reached his level yet, even if he is above some of the other gods, but he didn't expect a mortal to grow this strong. At least this will push Goku and Vegeta even further. Even Zeno begins glazing him, just like I am now as a narrator. But Gohan fully powers up. His hair now stands taller than before and is white, with his eyes turning red. This is Gohan's full strength, the level beyond Ultimate he was trying to achieve. This is Beast Gohan. Jiren smirks, knowing he's going to lose this fight, but he continues forward nonetheless. He launches towards Gohan, trying to hit him with a punch, but Gohan shouts and powers up further, preventing Jiren from reaching him without even moving a muscle, his orb basically acting as a barrier around him. Jiren then jumps back, charging an overheat magnetron, putting all of his power into it. Gohan simply sticks out a hand, and the blast flies around him. He's completely unaffected. Gohan then vanishes from sight, and with a single attack, he knocks Jiren out of the ring, eliminating Universe 11. The rest of the remaining fighters are completely stunned. There's no way they could beat that. Even Universe 7's a bit scared too, and that's their teammate. Glorio didn't realize that Gohan's grown this strong. Like, he saw him fight against Boo, but this is something else. Piccolo's been training with Gohan, and this is the first time he's seen Gohan use it in combat. But even though he's seen Beast before, he didn't know it would be like this. Goku and Vegeta are just completely perplexed on the other hand. They still have yet to find a way beyond Super Saiyan Blue. They really need to kick it into high gear if they want to get to Gohan's level. Anyways, the tournament continues, but it's pretty obvious Universe 7's going to win here. Even if everyone got eliminated and it was just Gohan left, he'd be fine. As for the MVP, it's probably going to be Gohan. And knowing him, he'd probably have the same exact wish Piccolo had in mind, wishing for all the universes to be returned. Nail did have a good time fighting, and they're thankful he joined the team. Luckily, they're able to split all the Namekians from him, so Namek returns to normal. Glorio heads back to the Demon Realm, and as for Ku, Piccolo wants him to stay on Earth for a bit. Goku and Vegeta immediately head back to Beerus' planet, trying to get beyond Super Saiyan Blue in any way possible. And they're there for a while. So long, in fact, that they're not even on Earth when Maris arrives. This is kind of a long shot. Morrow has escaped prison, and he was trying to find a strong warrior that could help. Ideally, Majin Buu would have been there, so they could use the power of the Grand Supreme Kai. But they might still have a good option here. First of all, Earth has some pretty strong warriors in general, but on top of that, there's Ku. They know basically nothing about him, but he's a Majin like Buu, so they wonder if he has similar abilities. And that's why the Galactic Patrol went after him. When Maris arrives on Earth, he's able to recruit Gohan, Piccolo, and Ku. They come to learn that Ku is actually part Buu. Whether or not that means he has the power of the Grand Supreme Kai, they're not too sure. But Piccolo recounts that Rinsu actually did have a piece of Buu. That was used to create Ku, so he should have similar powers. He wasn't aware that Buu had 2 Kais in him, and now he and Gohan feel kinda guilty because they killed Buu, which means by extension they killed those 2 Kais in him. Although that was mostly Gogeta that did that, but still. Given these 3 aren't too battle hungry, they have a much more nuanced plan for this. They're not going to fight 1v1 like Goku and Vegeta did. Especially knowing that Morrow could steal energy, that's going to be a problem. Another issue is, they might not get to Namek in time because they don't have instant transmission. Because Goku's not with them right now. That worries Piccolo a lot because he assumes that Nail's probably going to have everyone fuse into him again and try to fight Morrow without knowing what he's up against. But Ku decides to try something. He grabs onto them, and then performs a Kai Kai. He reminds them that he's part Supreme Kai after all. So the 3 of them all get to Namek right when Morrow does, before he can get any of the Dragon Balls. Ku's gonna fight first to see if he can negate Morrow's magic, and then if not, Gohan's gonna step in and just use his full power right off the bat, enough to obliterate Morrow without him absorbing any energy. Turns out, Ku is actually able to negate this. Morrow's a bit confused by him and then learns that he has part of Majin Buu in him. And very vaguely, Morrow can sense the Grand Supreme Kai in there. He's not actually in Ku, but to an extent, his essence is in there. Not to mention he has the magic of a bunch of other people within him. He can try and take some energy from the planet itself, but that's not going to be enough. Without being able to absorb Ku's power, Morrow is way physically overpowered, so Ku is able to stop him, and they capture Morrow. Before they left the ship, they brought a communicator with them, and Jocko comes on over the mic. He tells them not to capture Morrow, kill him if they can, because they wanted to kill Morrow for a while, they just had no way of doing that. Well, Piccolo's fine with that, especially because he was trying to terrorize Namek. Morrow accepts that he's going to die, but he does have a question for them. How are they all so powerful? He feels magic emanating from all of them, at least in some sense. Piccolo's obviously a Namekian. His origins are from the Demon Realm, but something's different. Ku is clearly a Majin. But Gohan just seems like a normal Saiyan. Well, he's a hybrid, but still. And Morrow comes to learn of their connection to the Demon Realm. Piccolo trained directly under Neva, and had his power unlocked by him. Gohan had power unlocked by Neva too. And Ku is Ku. His genetic makeup is completely from people from the Demon Realm. No wonder Morrow fell to their power. They have great physical strength, and great magical strength. He just didn't expect mortals to have connection to the Demon Realm like that. Morrow remembers it pretty fondly, and he smirks, as Piccolo charges a Ki Blast, eradicating Morrow. The 3 of them have saved Namek, and the universe as a whole. And Ku's very happy with himself. He's a hero. Everybody loves him. Like, he was doing great at the tournament, and now he's doing great here. He's a very jolly Majin. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's gonna happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.